Welcome, foolish mortals.
Time to be turning around. If only you could.
Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Hey, Henry, what's holding you up? Let's get on with the show. We can't hang around here all day.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
There's no turning back now.
This is the greatest show!
It's coming on the running lights. With the runaways are running tonight. Impossible comes true. It's taking over you. This is the greatest show.
Now it's time for the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast with your hosts, Michael Hurley and Gary Aruda.
This is the greatest show.
That's right. This is the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast, episode number 567, recorded from the mobile D. Fauntleroy studios in Framingham, Massachusetts, and sunny Southwest Florida. I'm your host, Gary, joined as always by my co-host, Mike, down in Florida. How are you doing today, Michael?
Good evening. Framingham, Massachusetts is representing, huh?
Yeah, it's the newest studio. Eugene was up here early scouting out locations and got me all set up with the technology. Unfortunately, I have to hold the microphone, but
You didn't
I
bring
guess
the
nothing's
stand with
perfect.
you?
I did not bring the boom with me.
If I had known, I would have sent one of my labs up there. You could have just...
I did have some. I thought about it, but I didn't. I didn't grab one.
I mean, it's
But-
not something that you and I need to think about. That's exactly why Eugene's an unpaid intern. He just... We furloughed him, we brought him back, and he still just can't figure it out, can he?
I'll give him some credit because he did book the whole floor of the hotel for me to ensure the privacy.
Oh, okay.
So that was
God,
nice.
that had to cost some money, huh?
Well, you know, you got to spend money to make money, parts. That's the important thing. What's new? What's going on in Florida?
Not much.
No,
No, not much. No.
I'm starting to get the itch, parts.
What, for this member guest?
Yeah,
Are you really?
I'm really thinking about it. Mostly for the food.
Have
You know what I was
started
thinking?
hitting balls yet? What?
No, you know what I was thinking about today? When the guy hit the ball into the coleslaw.
I
during
talked about it the other day, actually.
That's the dumbest thing that's ever happened, isn't it?
I've never seen anything so ridiculous. And then there was like a group of four, and people kind of duck, and you just saw that mayonnaise
The splash of mayonnaise.
flying all over the place.
Like, has that ever been a sentence uttered on a golf course? A splash of mayonnaise.
The guy shanked a hybrid into coleslaw.
That's hard to do, isn't it?
I mean, after that, we almost sat it out. Remember, we had to go after that.
That's right. We did go after that. I hooked mine so far left. I was thrilled, though. I almost hit it in the creek. I didn't even care.
Yeah, it's just,
I'd rather
it's
hit it in the creek than in the coleslaw,
snap
wouldn't you?
hook and a gap wedge.
Better than almost killing somebody.
I mean, the coleslaw is one thing. I had parking lot. I had windows.
Yeah, that's true.
All the unsuspecting people up in the patio drinking, they have no idea the potential.
It's really
that
a
I
bad
have.
setup. It's really
It's
a
a
bad setup.
terrible setup.
What they should do is they should put a mat down right across the creek on 18 and you hit it up to the green and have all the people stand behind the green and watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that setup's terrible for people who have the tendency to shank from time to time.
Yeah, not a great setup. That coleslaw was good too, if I remember correctly.
Did you have it before or after the golf ball?
I think both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Golf
both.
ball adds a little bit of flavor. You know, it's got some dirt and some grass stains on it.
Some pesticides on there
Yeah.
from Carlisle.
Yeah.
No worry. A little Dakinil action on there. Don't worry about it.
What's that flavor? It's fine. You'll be fine. You got a seventh ear growing out of your head a
Yeah,
year
it's fine.
later.
It's just some
Yeah,
chlorothalonol. Don't worry about it.
Is that the stuff you can't walk on with bare feet?
Yeah, you shouldn't walk on a golf course with bare feet. It's not a good idea. Anyway, how's the course looking? Is it in good shape?
Oh God, the greens are so beautiful. It's in such good shape. I like playing
I
at
have
dormant
nightmares about
time
this
because the rough
Yeah.
isn't an issue. But the greens are just so pure. Oh, the greens are so nice. Fairways are in good shape. Yeah, it's in great shape.
You excited to get your irons?
Yes, I am.
What did you get? Like 1 inch long and
Yeah, just
flat,
getting
or
it.
how?
They were standard lie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a standard lie, 1 inch long.
Big grips,
No, I just do the mid.
medium,
Yeah, I
mid
did the
grip.
bigger grips one time. I didn't like it. Bryson's a fan. He said you should have the biggest grips you possibly can. And he explained the whole science with it, what it does to your wrists and what have you. But I've been comfortable with the mid size. Do you go mid size?
I got the fat grips on mine,
Oh,
not
so
like
you
the
go the
huge,
over.
huge
You
ones.
go over. Okay.
Yeah, oversized with double wrap underneath too. So an extra wrap of the tape.
Oh, okay. So you go
It's nice. It feels good. I like it. It feels nice. Because I like the fat putter grips too. You have a fat putter grip.
fatter. Yeah.
I like those. I don't know. Just something about it. Very appealing to me. But yeah, I need to get out and hit some balls. I haven't swung a golf club since August, I think.
That's not good.
That's unfortunate. I could play great though. That could be the secret sauce.
Yeah, it could be, but
Probably not.
when you came down couple years ago and you told me that you had the shanks, and when we played that practice round, or the 9 holes prior to the practice round,
Yeah.
and you were hitting it all over the place, that was frightening.
But I figured it out.
Yeah, I don't know how you did, but you did.
I don't know either. But if I don't swing a club before I come down, I won't have
You
the
might
shanks.
not have bad habits. I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a possibility.
You
I
also
could
could be
4-putt every
sore
green.
because do
Yeah.
you remember the first time you went to the driving range after not playing all winter, and like the next 3 days you couldn't swing a club because you
I'll be
used so
alright.
many back muscles?
I'll be okay.
All right.
I'm young and athletic, parts. I'm not worried about that.
That I do forget. I did forget about that part.
I'm a GD athlete. Let's
Young
not
and
forget about that.
okay.
What are we talking about this week? We have a little Toledo dining review.
Talk about food.
This is a new one on your list, isn't it?
Yes, it is. First time, long time.
And when you stay at a place, you definitely take advantage of the amenities.
I try to. Yeah, I really do. I stay on campus and explore everything they
But
have
this-
to offer.
This one's kind of been like on the outskirts of your radar for a while.
Yeah, there was a time where we were going to try to go, and then it's like, yeah, it's just not going to make any sense. I think we canceled the reservation one time.
Yeah.
And it's always been on my hit list. But then again, when are you over at Coronado Springs? I think last week we talked about my stay and how hadn't been there maybe once or twice in 10 or 12 years. And you know
Yeah.
me, I explore every chance I get. I'll run over to a resort.
But it's not even one you can get to unless you drive.
That's the
there.
problem. If it was a Skyliner, I think we'd be there more often, don't you think?
Or even a boat. Like you can go
Yeah.
to the Port Orleans by boat if you needed to. There's just no way to get there unless you
No,
take
it's
a
a
bus
very
or your car.
difficult place. It's easy to get to a lot of the values.
Absolutely.
You know, you got 2 right on the Skyliner.
Yep. But yeah, it's definitely been like on the outskirts of your radar, I would say.
Yeah,
It's always appealed to you, but it was never enough to draw you there.
correct.
But now that you stayed there and you tried it, we're going to talk about it. So do you want to go through the menu first? You want to talk about what you had? What are you thinking here?
Yeah, we'll just start. We'll start. I think I sent you. I want to talk first about Dahlia Lounge.
Oh, right. Yes. Let's talk about that a little bit too.
So they're all located on the 16th floor. You can take the. It's nice too. They have like express elevators.
Oh, okay. So it skips. It doesn't
It
stop
skips-
on
so
the way
yeah,
up.
so like when you type 16, you might wait 30 seconds a minute, but then it'll tell you that's the elevator. It's going to take you right up to 16, so you're not jumping around when the little weasels are hitting buttons all over the place.
Yeah, right.
You gotta stop at 3 and there's nobody there and it irritates you.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. So we have the Dahlia Lounge. And
Yes.
this has a bunch of tapas appetizers on the menu here.
Lots of small plates.
Is this attached to Toledo or is it separate?
So it's separate. So if you get off the elevators,
Mm-hmm.
and walk in. You're either going to take a left or a right, depending on what elevator you're on. But you walk in, and right in front of you is going to be the maitre d', who's going to
Yeah.
take your name and get you seated. To the left is going to be Toledo. To the right is going to be the Dahlia Lounge.
Okay, so it's not like part of it per se,
No,
but they're basically
right
attached.
next to each other. That's correct.
All right, so you want to talk Dahlia Lounge. So
Yes,
there's some good options
some
on the
great options.
lounge menu. We could start with the Dahlia sliders, $17. Beef with chorizo spice, black garlic aioli, house pickled onions, and manchego on a brioche poppy seed bun with patatas bravas sauce, $17. That sounds pretty good.
That works. Yeah, that definitely works.
Shrimp pil for $16.50. I don't know what that means. With ají amarillo, garlic, and albarino. I'm not sure what that is. Shrimp pil. Sounds okay though.
Yeah, sounds fine.
I like shrimp, so can't be that bad. This sounds right up my alley. The smoked paprika chips. I could see myself having a couple cold beers and ordering these smoked paprika
And I
chips.
watched a video, and those things look amazing. Just very simple and fresh.
Yeah, $9 served with a plant-based chimichurri aioli. You can get calamari, crispy calamari, sweet pepper confit, and roast garlic aioli, $16. That sounds like the Twin Oaks style calamari almost.
Yeah.
Orange flancoco, cream cheese flan, orange cake, whipped cream, and Cardinal Mendoza macerated oranges. So that's kind of their one of their sweet options at the bar. That's $11. The calamari is $16, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. You can get chicken wings, crispy chicken wings tossed in sweet and spicy honey sherry glaze for $15. That sounds fantastic. You can have jamon croquetas. Jamon's a type of ham. So that with sweet pepper and carrot romesco sauce for $13. The tapas trio with octopus ceviche, marinated olives, and a tomato spread with grilled bread. That sounds absolutely perfect. $18. A Spanish charcuterie also sounds really good. This one's $38. Olives, fig jam, charred bread, and assorted meats and cheeses. Hopefully that's big enough to share for $38.
Yep.
And you can get warm churros with chocolate sauce for $9.50.
Now these were a hit from what I understand. I watched another
the
couple of
churros?
YouTubes on this, and they looked absolutely to die for. Fresh, delicious.
Interesting. Now, you went to Dahlia or you just wanted to talk about it?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because it's
Okay.
right next to each other.
I mean, that sounds fantastic.
That setting is just absolutely gorgeous too, because right outside, it reminds me of Topolino's.
Mm-hmm.
Great views. You can see Hollywood Studios,
Sure.
little bit of Epcot, Animal Kingdom, and Blizzard Beach. So great views. Super chill. They've got a lot of patio furniture like they do at Topolino's outside, where you can sit down and have a cocktail and
Nice.
chill out. So it's really nice. It's beautiful, beautiful setting.
There's some really nice specialty cocktails there too. It sounds like their bar menu is very unique as well. They have a gin and tonic with house-made saffron orange tonic soda water. So a homemade tonic is interesting. Negroni espresso martini, a tequila daisy, a mezcal Bloody Mary. But then this one really piques my interest. It's a create your own old fashioned. I've seen a few people post about this where you pick you choose from 5 different whiskeys, 5 different simple syrups, and 5 different bitters to create your very old fashioned. So those are basically the 3 ingredients for an old fashioned. You got whiskey, a sweetener, which is the simple syrup, and a bitter, which is like a accent flavor. So one of the favorite ones I've had, which really turned me on to old fashions, when I went a place in Rhode Island, they had a maple walnut old fashioned. So it was a whiskey with walnut bitters and maple syrup as opposed to a simple syrup. So it was like a very rich flavor because like the walnut and maple syrup. So that I know that's one of the options. They have a walnut bitters, a chocolate bitters. I think they have like hot pepper bitters at the Dahlia Lounge, and that's only $17.50 to create your own, which is super interesting, very appealing to me. I could definitely see myself maybe trying out a couple of those over a course of a vacation if I was staying at Coronado. They also have their traditional Oaxaca old fashioned, which is made with tequila, which definitely is not an old fashioned, but it's different. It's a tequila with mezcal, agave nectar, orange, and chocolate bitters served over ice and garnished with an orange. So it's kind of like a twist on an old fashioned made with tequila. There's a sangria tini, a Manhattan, Espumo punch, sangria blanco, sangria tinto. Um, all of those options I haven't seen on any other lounge menus for drinks. So they all sound pretty unique to the Dahlia Lounge, which is really cool because a lot of the places have like 8 cocktails that are all the same and maybe 1 or 2 signature cocktails at these
Yeah.
lounges. And this one seems like they're almost all unique to Dahlia, which I really like. Sounds like a really cool spot based on the drinks
Yep.
and the tapas.
Now,
And
from what I understand, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say that from what I understand, 80% of their wines are from Spain, and
Okay.
they also have some California wines being offered. So that's pretty unique. And the other thing,
That's nice.
as with a lot of uh, bars connected to restaurants, you can get some of the items that they have on Toledo
Oh,
if
okay.
the restaurant isn't super packed and you're not stressing the kitchen. Like the same thing that we were told over at
Oh,
the
Yachtsman,
one
right?
next to Yachtsman.
Yeah, Cruise Cup.
Yeah, Cruise Cup. They said that if if it's later at night and the restaurant isn't getting stressed, that they
You
can.
can
But
maybe get prime rib or
yeah,
something.
they pretty much have that enough grills and cooking stations just to service the restaurant. So you can keep that in mind. You can always ask the bartender or server
Yeah,
if
it
you
never
can get
hurts to
anything off the
ask.
menu. Absolutely. And then
But the
any
one thing
remaining.
I really like is what I was gonna say is that the tapas menu at Dahlia is not the same as Toledo. They're all unique options. Actually,
Yeah,
there's none that are the same, which is also rare for a lounge. It's usually a lounge connected to a signature has 1 or 2 of the same appetizers on there, which is fine because sometimes that's what you want when you go to the lounge. You want what
right.
the main restaurant is serving, but this is totally unique, which I actually like quite a bit. Do you want to hop into Toledo now?
Yes, sir.
I think last week or the week before we determined this is a 1 credit if you're on the dining plan, which you said is an absolute
Yes.
steal.
Yep. It's a one credit. You also do get 10% annual pass holder and Disney Visa.
Okay,
They don't have DVC, which would make sense because it's not a DVC resort.
sure.
Um,
But that would have been 10% anyway, so it's the same as the annual pass holder discount, I
that's
imagine.
correct. So as long as you're
Yeah,
an annual pass holder or you're a Disney Visa
you get the 10%.
card holder, that's yep.
So at Toledo, the appetizers are a Rioja braised chorizo, Spanish style sausage with Rioja wine and onions for $15. Sounds pretty good. Pan con tomato, crushed tomato, garlic, olive oil, and charred bread for $12, which is sounds like almost like a Italian bruschetta, which
Yeah, it does.
sounds fantastic.
Exactly. That's what my thought was too.
Charred octopus for $17 with chimichurri and patatas. They have the marinated olives with citrus, garlic, and crushed red pepper for $11. A romaine salad for $10 with white anchovy, manchego, cracked black pepper, soft poached egg, and lemon vinaigrette. Almost like a Caesar salad, like a take on a Caesar. Gambas al ajillo, which is brick oven shrimp, garlic infused olive oil, herbed butter, and toasted bread, $16. The Spaniard for 2 for $38. I bet this is the same because it's the same price too. It's basically a charcuterie plate. Chef's signature selection of artisanal charcuterie and
Mhm.
cheeses. That must
Yep.
be the same as
Yeah,
Dahlia.
it is.
And then the seasonal gazpacho, heirloom tomatoes, crispy salted cracker, olive oil, and piquillo pepper for
Do you
$12.
like
Cold.
gazpacho?
cold tomato soup. I've had it like once or twice, and it's actually pretty good.
It is actually pretty good. You wouldn't think that you'd like it, but I've had it a couple times at the golf course, and it's excellent.
Well, but you like V8 and tomato
That's
juice, so it
yeah, that's
kind of
true, yeah.
makes sense that you would like it.
Yeah, good point, good point.
Same with me. So we have I don't know if you guys did this or not, the chef's signature dinner for two for $155. Did you look at this when you were there?
We looked at it, we studied it. We did actually not go with this.
You didn't go with this. So for $155, you get a flight of 4 Pinots, or however you say this, Pinot. I don't even know how to say it. Chilled mussels, escabeche, olive oil poached tuna with lemon, tortillo espinola, Spanish potato omelet, Valdon blue cheese with fig and honey. So it's basically like a plate of 4 little appetizers.
That's correct.
Then you get the Spaniard, which is on the menu, which is the charcuterie plate for 2.
Yep.
You also get a bone-in ribeye with tomato, onions, and a choice of 2 house sides. You get a seafood paella, which that's maybe one of my favorite things to eat in the world. Paella. Bomba rice, seafood, white wine, saffron butter, sofrito, scallop foam, and herb peas. And then you get the Toledo Tapas bar dessert, which is a progressive dessert tasting with the flavors of vanilla, cheesecake, lemon curd, raspberry mousse, chocolate mousse, and Spanish coffee custard. It's actually a really good value. It sounds like.
Of course it is.
Because if you look at the menu, that bone-in ribeye for 2 is $115 on its own. So you're basically getting everything else for an extra $40.
Yes.
Including paella and a charcuterie and all that good stuff. The entrees, like I said, they have the bone-in ribeye for 2 for $115. The fillet of beef with forest mushrooms, red wine, demi-glace, and truffle vinaigrette for $41, which is a cheap fillet for Disney.
Yeah, it is.
Marinated grilled lamb loin with potatoes, salsa verde, green, and blistered peppers for $35. Plancha seared salmon for $40. Asparagus puree, Vizcaya sauce, and seasonal garden vegetables. Rioja braised chicken, saffron-scented bomba rice, grapes, Rioja wine, and crispy chorizo migas for $31. Sounds pretty good. Mezcala de verduras for $31, which is a gigante bean silk, seasonal garden vegetables, patatas bravas, and carrot romesco. That's their plant-based entree for $31. And a smoked pork chop with spinach fonduta, secreto, potato voulet, and crispy chorizo.
How good does that sound?
$34. That sounds really good.
That's like the simplest thing on the menu, but how good does that sound?
Sounds really good. For the sides, you can get blistered shishito peppers, patatas bravas, roasted tomato bomba rice, Brussels sprouts, olive oil, potato puree, or braised gigante beans. What'd you guys go with? I'm curious. What we read the appetizers and the entrees, so now I need to know what you guys ended up.
So we actually did the bone-in ribeye for 2.
Ooh, that's interesting. So
Yeah.
you decided to do that, but you didn't do the chef's specialty.
That is correct because the flight of 4 pinkstos
Yeah.
did not look good. I do not like rare tuna.
Oh, see, I love that.
Yeah, and it looked like it was a little bit too much food. But there were just a few things that were like, and if we're let's not bother.
Yeah, see, for me, the paella would have pushed it over the edge.
Yeah, so what pushed it over the edge for us was that Roja braised chorizo,
Mm-hmm.
which was one of the most amazing things I've ever eaten in my life.
Oh, so you wanted to get a different appetizer. So you
That is
basically went
correct.
with
That is
an
correct.
appetizer and the bone-in ribeye for 2.
Yeah, because that chorizo was amazing, and it
Mhm.
came with like bread,
Okay.
like hard bread. I mean, it's not French bread, but it was like French bread, soft in the
Yeah.
middle, hard on the outside, and you basically just took this chorizo and onions and put it on the bread.
It was good.
Oh dear God, it was amazing. It was amazing.
But better than the steak?
It was different parts.
Different.
This
Yeah.
chorizo was just the big chunks. It wasn't like that pork chop because you know that's kind of almost like not the bacon, but what do they call it? What's the Italian pancetta?
Yeah, yeah.
You know that one on the pork chop that we were talking about is kind of like a pancetta, but it's chorizo and it's just sprinkled on top of a pork chop. But yeah, I would say this was better than the steak. If you said you could have a steak or this chorizo this weekend, I'd take the chorizo. It was so good.
Now, is usually Spanish chorizo is like a harder sausage. It's not like the Portuguese one, which is more
It
like
tasted very similar to the Portuguese one,
oh, okay.
or the one that I get at Publix when I do a chorizo omelet or a chorizo and eggs. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
very similar. Yeah.
Tell me about the steak. What'd you end up going with for sides?
So we went with the Brussels sprouts,
Okay.
and
I would
then
have
we
picked that.
did the
I would have done the olive oil potato
olive
one as well.
oil potato
Yeah.
puree. Oh my God, was that good?
Were they both good, both sides?
Yeah, they were both amazing.
Now, how was the steak? Because you and Susie get it cooked differently usually.
So we asked for medium rare, it came out a little less than mid rare.
Okay.
So she wasn't a huge fan. It was delicious. I
Hmm.
think, if we're gonna do that again for the two of us, I might go with a medium because you can overdo a ribeye and it's gonna be fine because of all the fat
Yeah, I agree with that.
rendering down with the marbling. So it's not like a fillet. So I'd probably go to ask him if you could do like a mid rare to a medium.
Yeah,
And
like
then
just under medium.
yeah, exactly. And I think she would have been happier, but it was a little too red for her. And she likes a mid rare.
Yeah.
Now she used to hate it. Now she does, but this came out and it was pretty rare.
Closer to rare than medium rare, you
I
would
would
say.
say so, yeah.
So you didn't mind, but it wasn't up her alley.
Loved it.
Yeah. It
I
was good
loved it.
though.
Yeah, because they really did a good job seasoning it and charring it. So it was like crunchy and salt and peppery on the outside and just
Yeah.
very tender in the middle.
Big piece?
Yeah, just normal. Yeah.
Yeah, enormous.
Yeah, so much that I brought you because I eat all my steak.
Oh, of course.
And there was enough for me to bring back. And it was so good. You know how steak doesn't. I mean, it's still better than any other lunch you're gonna have, but it's still like, oh, it was so much better 3 days ago when I had it.
Yeah. Although that Peter Luger's was pretty good leftover. I have
A
to
good
say.
steak is good leftover.
That's
Absolutely.
true. How about any desserts? Did you guys try any desserts?
Yeah, so we ended up doing that, the one that comes with the
Oh,
prefix.
the Toledo's Tapas bar?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. It was a little rich for me.
Okay.
It was good though.
How was the atmosphere and the service in there?
Service was amazing. Atmosphere. It's a beautiful restaurant. It's gorgeous.
Does it feel
I-
like a signature?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. Not even
Yeah.
close. Not even close. I would Uber if I was on a dining plan. I would Uber over there.
Because it's that good of a
It's
value.
that good. It is so good.
Yeah.
And that Grandestino Tower is gorgeous.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is you're definitely going to hit this place someday.
Yeah. A hidden gem, you're saying.
Yeah, because I mean, how many good restaurants are in moderates?
Not many. I
Not
mean, there's not
many.
a lot of restaurants at all. There's only 2 other ones to choose from.
I mean, I heard like
Sebastian's and Boatwright's.
Sebastian's does nothing for me, and a lot of people say it's pretty good, but it does nothing for me. Boatwrights is fine,
It's good.
but
It's very different.
I'm not going to Boatwrights if I'm staying at Polynesian.
No, if you're staying at Port Orleans, Boatwright's is good.
Yeah,
But it's not worth the trip, I would say.
yeah, this is definitely worth the trip.
Interesting. Where would you rank it as far as like if it were a signature, where would it rank on recent ones you've been to?
I mean, Topolino's is still my favorite.
But middle of the pack, it wouldn't be like low end signature.
Maybe 5.
Okay.
Narcoossee's last time we were there it was fine. Narcoossee's was maybe a 7.
Okay.
The last time we were there, where usually it's a 9. This Cali Grill I've only been once, and I don't like their menu anymore. I have no desire to go back to Cali Grill. Narcoossee's Citricose I like.
I mean, Chico, I haven't been to in a long time.
Chico's been a while. This is good.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
this would definitely be top 5, maybe top 5 if it was signature.
Nice.
Because you like chorizo, you'd love that appetizer.
Yeah, I mean that
And you
chicken
would
dish sounds pretty good too.
Everything like that entire
pork
menu
chop.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
potato
one-
puree was amazing.
The only thing that disappoints me a little bit is that paella is not on the menu as an entree.
Like as an entree, yeah, that would be like a
'Cause
nice like
I would
$37
definitely
to
order that.
$43 price
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to eat. I love paella. Because I couldn't convince Sarah to get the steak and split with me.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
But no, I mean that's nice. How about crowd wise? Was it easy to get a reservation? Was it did it
Simple.
seem
Simple. Yeah, I mean, we
not too
tried
crowded in there?
a week or 2 prior to us going
Yeah.
because we were debating it's marathon weekend. Are we going to be tired? Are we going to want to have a big meal the day after a race? Blah, blah, blah. And it was super easy. I mean, they had reservations starting at 5:05 all the way to like 9:00.
So pretty much take your pick.
Yeah. And we were
Well.
sitting next to a couple, and I forget where they weren't even staying on property. They were staying at a different timeshare.
Oh,
And
okay.
she said every time, I think they were from Texas, and she said every time we come to Disney, we come over here.
Well,
So they're huge fans of Toledo. So
sounds like you are now too.
yeah, you got to give it a try, definitely.
I definitely will. That's right up my alley. I like that style of food, so I would definitely try it.
Yeah, you like
That
small
smoked pork
plates.
chop sounds amazing. Too.
That pork chop's probably going to be the next thing I try.
See, I think my play though, if I went there, I would do Dahlia Lounge for appetizers and go right to entrees there.
Is that what you're going to do? You're going to kind of do like a 3 or 4 hour true
Because I
Spanish
think
tapas?
because the appetizers sound better at Dahlia Lounge than at Toledo.
That's fair.
Do like the charcuterie and an appetizer, and then have a drink, and then go over and have your main course at Toledo. That'd be nice. Especially if you're staying there. You can't beat that.
How great would that be if somehow they were able to turn that into a DVC?
It just doesn't make sense. They can't. We could talk about it on our other show, Addicted to DVC. Check it out wherever you find podcasts. Addicted to DVC. I just don't think they could make the logistics work, money wise and point wise, because it would devalue other stuff. You know
Yes,
what I
it
mean?
would.
That's the problem with it. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. Anything else you want to add here?
Figure out how to stay there other than
I
having to
know
pull out the credit card because I love that resort
it's tough.
and I like the restaurant. I love it.
I mean, stay at Animal Kingdom and drive over, I guess. It's pretty close to Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah, it's not that far. It's close to All Stars too.
Well, yeah. Anyway, any final thoughts on
Nope.
either Toledo or Dahlia?
Nope, just check it out. Do yourself a favor and check it out.
All right. Definitely high regards from Mike and Susie on that one. You know where you can find us online at WDWBTG on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. You can find us, our Facebook group, WDW Beyond the Gates Podcast Family, WDWBTG.com. Download us wherever you get your podcasts. You can email the show, info@WDWBTG.com, Mike at WDWBTG.com, and Gary at WDWBTG.com. Is there anything I neglected to mention here?
That's a negative part.
All right, that's going to do it for episode number 567 of the WDW Beyond the Gates podcast. For my co-host Mike, my name is Gary. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. M-I-C.
See you real soon.
K-E-Y.
Why? Because we like you.
M-O-U.